in Oklahoma City is our site for tonight's USL Championship matchup here in Week 18 between OKC Energy FC and El Paso Locomotive FC. Josh Eastern and Devin Kerr here with you on ESPN+. Taft Stadium is our site. And these two teams right in the thick of things in the playoff picture, and both are coming off opposite results last week. We'll start with OKC coming off their 1-0 win over Las Vegas.
Squeaked that one out, and not the best performance from Steve Cook and his squad on the road, but sometimes that's the way it goes. You find a way to just stay compact and stay in a match. That's what they were able to do, and then a bit of individual brilliance down the line from Shawn Brown, but they have to find a way to really turn the offense up going forward. This is a team that likes to go in transition, a massive amount of talent on the offensive side of the ball, but it's been 9 games since they've had a multi-goal game. That's saying something. When you get Shawn Brown and other guys going forward, Jonathan Brown, Omar Gordon, that's a great look. But it can't happen with just one goal on the back of the net. Shawn Brown, the guy up top who is in form, 3 goals in the last 5 games, but there has to be a supporting cast to allow them to explode into the final third. That hasn't been the case. You take a look at the 11 and what it's going to look like tonight. Shawn Brown will obviously be in the number 9 up top in that lone striker position. And then the boys around him, Jonathan Brown coming over from Hartford Athletic. He'll be on that left wing. Omar Gordon, his counterpart on the right. Cordell Cato in the 10 spot. Can he be the man in the absence of Alexi Bassetti to help them going forward? They think so. Steve Cook really likes the energy that he brings back from Gold Cup duty. Callum Ross, Rafa Garcia in the middle of the field, and Atiba Harris back from yellow card accumulation will slide in next to Christian Mbiaga, Alvin Jones, and Williams on the left and right respectively.
Steve Cook makes one change from that 1-0 win over Las Vegas. They're also getting some Gold Cup players back after Jamaica and Trinidad go out. And on the other side, El Paso coming off a very tough performance here in the past few weeks, as they just have not been able to get back on the winning track, and injuries have had a lot to do with that.
Limping into this game.
Yeah.
Injuries, you and I were chatting about it, just how difficult it's been for Mark Lowry and his squads. Look at that stat right there, 2 losses and a draw. Team's only got 4 losses on the season, so it's been a rough one the past 3 games. Fresno, they did not look their best. An opportunity where not necessarily one lost. It's hard to win on the road. More importantly, against Fresno, a team that likes to maintain possession just like they do, but they struggled with the press. They're getting some guys back from injury, though, and the squad is starting to get healthy. Mark Lowry saying that he really feels the second half of the season, they're going to light it up. Couple changes for him tonight. Luis Herrera Chapa will sit next to Richie Ryan. Nick Ross is going to go out on the left. That's an interesting look. Really like the combination between Salgado and Kifia that they had created. Salgado comes over to the right. Andrew Fox moves from center back out to the marking back position, number 19. Keep an eye next to Drew Becky, who's back from injury. And of course, let's address the elephant in the room, Keith Svetter. He's been fantastic up top.
10 goals in 13 appearances. These two teams played in week 1 back in El Paso, and it was a win for OKC. We'll be right back for First Kick here on ESPN+.
Success is achieved through hard work, and many business owners work tirelessly for years to realize the dream of franchising their business. FFB partners with companies of all sizes every day and offers an extensive variety of treasury services. FFB will outline a plan just for you, help you streamline cash flow, and monitor your business transactions. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB. We go where you go.
Mercy helps the energy get to the top of their game. We can help you get to the top of yours.
Outlining your own destiny is something we all take pride in. And knowing we're doing what we love is what makes this life adventure so exciting. Isn't it nice to have a banking partner that's along for the ride? FFB makes life easier with a simple click and snap, so things like mobile banking and deposits can be done anywhere, anytime. Plus free bill pay, person-to-person transfers, and Apple Pay. With free ATMs worldwide, why wouldn't you want a bank that gives you this much freedom? FFB. We go where you go.
Back here at Taft Stadium in Oklahoma City, it is Christmas in July and Santa Claus is out as the two teams take to the pitch here tonight. Both these teams looking to get on the winning track. OKC looking to make it 2 in a row, following up that 1-0 win over Las Vegas last week. But it's been a tough go of it for El Paso Locomotive as they are looking to get on the winning track and keep moving up those standings, which have become very congested there in the middle.
It's quite interesting, the Western Conference. What a stark difference it is than the East. One win below the playoff line, and you could jump yourself into 6th or 7th, and that's the way it's pretty much taken shape over the course of the season so far. This is the time of year where the men start to separate themselves from the boys. You're seeing that from some of the squads at the top. I love Phoenix Rising on their 8-game win streak. Try and go for the record in the future as Real Monarchs had 9 in 2017, and FC Cincinnati hit 10 in 2018. Regardless, you look at El Paso Locomotive. We talked about their slide over the past 3 games. They were really the talk of the town, to be honest. They had a 9-game unbeaten streak. A few draws in there. But it's been a different talking point as of late. And how about OKC Energy FC? What are they able to do? A team that has done quite well. Only 1 loss in the previous 8, but the problem in that time frame is there's only 2 wins. So you go 2-1-5. Other teams around you are dropping points, but you're not necessarily gaining a boatload of ground. You start hitting the dog days of September, October. You don't want to look back and go, what if both these teams head in that direction?
Yeah, we're basically right at the midway point of this season as both these teams try to get themselves in a good position come playoff time. But obviously still plenty of soccer left to play as we get through the rest of the summer and into the beginning of fall before the playoffs do come around. And we are just about set. The ref tonight is Thomas Snyder. Of course, a hot night in Oklahoma City. We're right at the beginning of July. And there's the man who looks to get back on the score sheet, standing over the ball, Jerome Kiesewetter. We mentioned him just before the break. 10 goals in 13 appearances. And when Mark Lowry got him in the side, he said, that is our guy, and boy, has that proved true.
Felt earlier on this season that was biggest missing link, if you will. Felt like they did not have that out-and-out number 9 up top, with all due respect to everybody on the roster, and that they were kind of plugging and playing to find goals. Not the case. Massive statistics coming out of there. Big German up top. A guy who's just 1 behind Kevon Frater and 2 behind Solomon Asante in that Golden Boot race. A topic of conversation for a few awards up this year. A lot going on in the Western Conference in that discussion. Kiesewetter feels like he could be the front runner with his other Western Conference boys. And can you get him back on scoring? I was just talking to you coming back into it that the form that they've been on, he's in jeopardy. If he doesn't score tonight, he's going to go over a month without a goal.
And we are underway from Taft Stadium in Oklahoma City. El Paso Locomotive start off with the ball, and that is something that we will expect to happen quite a bit. They lead USL Championship in passing and passing accuracy. They love to be on the ball. They have not had a game this season where they have been under 50% possession, but early on it is OKC here with the ball as they look to spring Brown down the wing. And for OKC, off of that win over Las Vegas, Coach Steve Cook said not necessarily a spectacle. Neither side would say they played their best. They were disjointed at times, but 3 points on the road is 3 points. Obviously very important. On the other side for El Paso, just battling injuries. Coach Mark Lowry saying it's just this vicious cycle we're going through. We'll be struggling again this weekend for numbers. And they've gotten a few players back in Drew Becky and in Toko there on that back line, but still, those numbers very, very slim for Mark Lowry.
Still missing holding midfielder Yuma Monsalves, such an instrumental piece earlier on this year. Part of that 9-game run and trying to work his way back in. Castellanos in the middle, the knee injury. Moses working his way in from that trade, and you know the biggest loss, Mechak Jerome, going out with the torn Achilles in the first match against Bermuda in the Gold Cup. And they're going to lose him for the rest of the season. So can you find a way to not only put Band-Aids on those situations right now, but also strengthen your squad going forward? I promise you Mark Lowry has been out there pounding the pavement, figuring out a way to do so.
A very international flair to this game. 12 different countries represented for El Paso. On the other side for OKC, getting some players back from the Gold Cup. And both of these teams trying to round into form here right at the midway point. It's one back here by OKC. Some pressure being applied by El Paso. And when talking with Steve Cook this week, we were talking about possession and how much El Paso likes to be on the ball, and sometimes that can be a good thing, sometimes not, because it depends what you do with it.
Goes back to, what's the keyword everybody likes? Purposeful. You know, can it push you forward? Does there have a backing to it, you know, premeditated, if you will? On a regular basis, you can argue that El Paso Locomotive knocks it around, if not the best, one of the best in the USL Championship. It can get them in trouble at times, though. There's a good look at it right there, just trying to play out of the back, not necessarily sure which direction they want to go. Can't go vertical. And there's the little flick off the head. And interestingly enough, you and I were talking about the back line, what it would look like. Felt like Ntoko and Becky were 100% going to be in the middle. That is the case, though they have done something tactically a little bit different than what you've seen in the past, where they've brought Andrew Fox over to the left side. Now, he is a marking back by nature that can slot into the middle, which we've seen recently. James Kiffey, though, no slouch himself, played on that left-hand side. And we talked about the relationship, or lack thereof, because Salgado would have switched over. Well, guess what? They've brought Kiffey over to the right side. See if they can stoke that fire a bit more.
And there is Salgado on the ball, trying to get across into the box. And there's our first look at Cody Lorendi, 58 saves, leads USL Championship. A long run here down the right flank. We're kind of talking about this, and Steve Cook brought it up. Kind of a narrow pitch here at Taft Stadium. How do you think that'll affect OKC and El Paso here tonight?
There's a few manners that it can go on the negative side of things for a team that likes to knock the ball. You'll traditionally see them side to side, front and back, but then a quick switch, nice 20, 30-yard balls to open up either the center of the field for themselves or stretch the back line of the home squad. Much more difficult to navigate with the dimensions on the field itself, but also the surface, playing on artificial turf. Ball's a bit more bouncy, hard to judge. And the English throws you off a bit more. And when you're not used to that, when you have a traditional style that you have to fluctuate from, it really throws you off your rhythm. And especially when you're in a form where struggling over the past 3 games, you start to second guess yourself. So what they'll be looking for early on, a bit of momentum, help push them out in front. Not necessarily hit the back of the net, though it would be nice, but a way to just give them a bit of positivity going forward.
And maybe a chance for OKC in and around the area, but quickly taken away by El Paso. We're seeing a little bit of pressure there at the back by OKC, maybe trying to speed El Paso up a little bit. The goal scoring issues have been evident for OKC. Haven't scored multiple goals in 9 matches. The last match they did score multiple goals in was May 4th against Tacoma Defiance. It seems like ages ago, almost 2 months ago. Here's Kiffey now for Jerome Kiesewetter. And they will not be able to keep that one in play. And that goes up against an El Paso side that is tied for 3rd in the league with 8 clean sheets. They've only conceded 16 goals. So goal scoring might be tough to come by here tonight.
Very compact on the defensive side of the ball, El Paso Locomotive, and they really challenge you to come and get it. That's one way that they can really make you think about how much you want to press. A couple teams have taken notice to it, where you'll see quick ball played out of the back by Logan Ketter on restarts, and even just the movement side to side in general, and they'll lure you in. They have no problem sitting 20, 30 yards from their own goal, maintaining that possession, really asking you to come and get it, and then playing the spots behind you. They are definitely at the top of the league in that situation. And the issue is okay, once they get in behind you, what do they do with it? They haven't been able to do much last 3 games, no goals, and not much from an opportunity standpoint to show from it either.
Here's to Shawn Brown, but Drew Becky quick in there to take it away. And now, going back to that first matchup, we're now going ages without a goal, because Deshaun Brown scored about 30 seconds into that first matchup. It was the inaugural match for El Paso Locomotive. They're on their home field in week 1. It was a 3-1 win for Oklahoma City. Cordell Cato also scoring in that match. Well, this could be a little bit different, both teams in a little bit different form. Like we said, right in the thick of things in the playoff picture, right at the midway point, and if you're either coach, you can't be too displeased about that. Here's Kiffey now, trying to chip it forward, and Lorendi comes out just in front of Nick Ross.
There's that long ball stretch we talked about where it's a bit methodical, going from point A to point B, and then all of a sudden they stretch the field, trying to move it 30-yard ball down in, just dissecting the back line. Back to your point, it's funny how you can sit here and say injuries here, bad run of form, but still relevant in the West. And not just relevant, but trying to make a run at a title contention. The biggest thing is you just want to be above the playoff line. Give yourself a chance to get in. Remember, 10 teams this year instead of the traditional 8. And obviously, if you can get into the top 6, you don't have to worry about that playoff game. That's something that they'll be thinking of down the line. We referenced Mark Lowry feeling like their second half going to be better than the first. 4 losses in the opening first half of the season. Not a bad way to kind of come stumbling into the second half.
Those injuries being helped a little bit with a trade this week by El Paso, getting Moses McKinday into the side. That'll help with their depth, especially on that back line, coming over from Tulsa. Both these teams sort of feeling this match out here in the opening minutes. And out of play for a throw in there on the far side. But getting that road win, a very late goal for Oklahoma City Energy. When talking with Steve Cook, he says, we know we have to string some wins together and take some confidence, be more threatening as well. For that match, 3 points on the road, you will take that every single time, especially against a team like Las Vegas, who's right on the line of those playoffs. And you mentioned just getting into the dance is very important. Energy parents, sign your kids up for the all-new Energy FC Kids Club, presented by Supermercados Morelos. Visit energyfc.com/kids club to learn more. Here's Kiffey on the near side. And it wasn't a secret coming in, the possession for El Paso. And we're seeing it here very early on. Not a whole lot of time on the ball for OKC so far. It's taken away right in the center circle. Here's Brown. Gets it wide here for Williams. Cordell Cato now. The overlap to Williams. The cross in, low cross. Looking for Brown, unable to connect. Maybe a chance to counter, and we'll go back to El Paso. The first real good look going forward for OKC.
It's the quick fire option we talked about, where they are so good in transition, but can they find a way to push numbers forward and then get someone on the end of it? That last piece of execution, really what's been lacking over the course of the entire season. Shawn Brown trying to once again make his mark on the match inside of 10 minutes.
Shawn Brown scoring that big goal last week at Las Vegas. He scored plenty of big goals, 3 game winners so far this season for the experienced pro from Jamaica. As Salgado goes down, some help up from his number 9 counterpart.
A lot of movement going on for Mark Lowry's boys. We'll dive a bit deeper to that in a few minutes. Omar Salgado started on the right, worked his way back over to the left, and to be honest, is being given the liberty right now to just roam a bit free. He was up top next to Jerome, as you see him again, and then tracking back just into a holding midfielder position, really questioning Energy FC on the defensive side of the ball.
Salgado being that hometown kid from El Paso, 2 goals, 4 assists. He's been all around, but now he's back in El Paso for this inaugural season for El Paso Locomotive. That partnership up top with Jerome Kiesewetter could prove to be very important coming down the stretch of this season. Looking for Salgado. Chip forward, Kiesewetter unable to get there. It's Ibeaga who was there in front. There's a look at Mark Lowry, 33 years old. One of the younger coaches in United States soccer. Not quite the youngest, though. That goes to Nate Miller of Lansing Ignite. Here's Contreras. And it's deflected out for our first corner kick of the night. There is Steve Cook in his second season in Oklahoma City. Interim coach with Colorado Rapids in 2017. And he's trying to build something here in Oklahoma City. It will be an outswinger here in the 13th minute as El Paso get their first opportunity from a set piece. Right into the middle and quickly cleared. Here's Jonathan Brown. Tripped up.
Bit of gamesmanship by Drew Becky on the end of this, picking it up and running away, not allowing Energy FC to play quickly. Jonathan Brown coming over recently from Hartford Athletic, and a bit of a homecoming as he was brought in just at the tail end of 2017 under Jimmy Nielsen. Stayed here last year in the Steve Cook era and started the season following the White Puma to the Northeast, but has been a nice addition for Steve Cook since coming back. A guy that really trying to get him back on the score sheet. That's something he does on a regular basis. Great dead ball striker and lethal on distribution from set piece opportunities, but much more for his distribution down in the channels.
Here's Kiesewetter trying to spring free Salgado. And it looks like he left just a bit early. Offside is the call. And OKC want to play it quickly out of the back. Going back to John Brown for a moment, talking with Steve Cook this week. They wanted to keep him after last year. Felt that we missed that type of person, he said, in the squad this year. And it's funny how things work. You get him right back this season. And also getting the game-winning assist last week on the goal by the other Brown to Shawn Brown. Once again, that long diagonal ball finds James Kiffey, unable to keep it in play. But Steve Cook was saying this week, we do not want El Paso on the ball as much as that first matchup. Thought they pressed them well, however. But organization will be key tonight. Here's Jerome Kiesewetter now. Hasn't scored in nearly a month. Contreras will take it from deep. And it goes just by the posts of Cody Lorendi. Maybe he got a fingertip on that. Looks like he did. It'll be a corner kick.
Quite interesting how they start moving quickly in transition. And Kiesewetter slows it up. And then they methodically just move it back across. Contreras in the trailing run. Tries to pick this out from distance. There is a little fingertip touch by Lorendi to just push it aside.
Just brush that side netting. Contreras unafraid to rip it from deep. And another corner kick for El Paso Locomotive. Kiffey to take the outswinger. And Lorendi is there at the top of the six to take it. OKC's been looking to go quick here tonight. Here's Williams. We'll have to slow things up now. For Cato. Jones now for Gordon. And taken back by El Paso. Those midfield giveaways, very difficult to deal with, especially with a team. El Paso, is they'll probably just look to knock it around and get it back. This time they try to go forward and not able to do so.
They're giving him a different look tactically as well. Primarily set in a 4-2-3-1. What they've done though is Richie Ryan basically playing at the bottom of a triangle, just underneath Nick Ross and Chapa. And those three can come flat on the defensive side of the ball, really make it difficult for Energy FC to connect the dots. And then going forward, Sebastian Contreras sitting in front of them. Salgado is actually posted up top, and Kiesewetter on the near side on the right. Another inverted triangle, so they go in groups of threes. And you're seeing Salgado wander a bit more. Kiesewetter isolated on this right side. Can they find a way to make sure that they're getting him into one-on-one situations? Haven't been able to get that look yet, but it has freed up Salgado a few times. And just the ability to go back and forth side to side. You wonder why they're able to switch it like that. When you have Andrew Fox and James Kiffey, who play so high as the outside backs, it really starts to confuse the midfield a little bit, because you quite rapidly go from 4 at the back to 2, pushing 5 and 6 into the midfield. Energy FC having trouble tracking.
Here's Kiffey once again on this near side. Brings it in the middle, nowhere to go. El Paso looking to knock it around against. Brown trying to win it back. And Toko will get it back to Ketterer, who hasn't been too busy here early on. Just that one cross from the near side by Williams that nearly found Brown at the top of the 6. That's really all it's been from Oklahoma City so far. Both these teams showing a little bit of pressure. It's won back by Salgado. Salgado still on the ball now. He gets it back here on the left side. Rips a shot. It's deflected out. Must be a corner or a throw, and it looks to be another corner kick from that left side for El Paso. So far, the 3rd corner kick today for El Paso Locomotive. And once again, it'll be James Kiffey, 2 assists on the season. Looking to make it 3 here. Swung in. Deflected up in the air to Shawn Brown. Right back into the middle, looking for Contreras. And maybe a chance to counter. Here goes Oklahoma City. It's Omar Gordon, one-on-one with Ketterer, and a great save by Ketterer. Sprung free on the attack, but Ketterer was having nothing of it.
This is the risk you run when you start to overload all your defenders up in the middle. The back line stepped way too high. Coming off that set piece, transitional play lacking defensively for El Paso. Gordon going the other direction, and it's all led up to the goalkeeper. Watch the foreign coming down the stretch, makes himself big. The trailing leg just at the end of it. Make sure it doesn't get through his legs or on the outside of him. Logan Ketterer bails the back 4 out.
And an injury where all of that was happening on the other end. It looks like that's Jonathan Brown. He's been so crucial for this OKC team since coming back to Oklahoma City. But boy, what a chance for Oklahoma City Energy to get on the score sheet early. Omar Gordon with 4 goals, 6 assists this season, unable to make it a 5th goal.
You got to look at the speed out of the Jamaican with the ball at his feet, mind you. That's the trailing run of Chiro Ntoko trying to catch up with him. But the man from Zaire just didn't have enough pace. As Omar Gordon, we see him so many times on that right side. Ball's out in front of him. Just challenging defenders one-on-one situations. This time he gets the opportunity to go with the goalkeeper. And gets it wrong. You wonder if he maybe had the opportunity with Logan Ketterer out so far. Could he have taken a touch around him to the side? Easy for us to play Monday morning quarterback and second guess his decision. Regardless, have to pay respect to the goalkeeper when it's due. 100% Logan Ketterer with a goal-saving save.
And I give a lot of credit to Ntoko for running all the way back and really giving Gordon just one opportunity at goal. Because it did sneak by Ketterer there, but he did get enough on it to keep it out. And Ntoko, though, was able to clear it away from there as Shawn Brown comes back on. Here's Ross. And he wins a throw-in. But all of a sudden, we got some end-to-end action there for a moment. Maybe another opportunity for OKC. And Ntoko clears to Jones, who can't keep it in play. Some pressure being applied here at the back by Energy FC. And once again, another throw-in for El Paso. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship in many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. This pressure at the back by Energy FC has given El Paso a little bit of fits getting out of the back. And right now the ball can't escape that far touchline. So far, we're kind of seeing what Steve Cook said about El Paso is they're good on the ball, but the game is more than that. It's kind of what you do with being on the ball so much. They've won a few corners, but nothing more than that. And one of those corners has sprung free, the best opportunity for either side for Energy FC.
Now they're starting to knock the ball a little bit past 2-3 minutes. I understand it's just a tiny spell, but that's what you need to relieve that pressure. It's really hard to chase for a full 90 minutes.
And it's wide here for Cordell Cato. Brown's in the box, and Becky deflects it away. A corner kick up coming for Energy FC. It's first of the match.
Just allow yourself these windows to play through. Nice rotation out by Cordell Cato. Rafa Garcia will now step onto the dead ball, see if he can allow some of the big boys to get up into the box. A la Atiba Harris, Ibiaga, and Alvin Jones. Alvin Jones really struggling to get involved in the run again going forward. Not his fault. He's got his hands full defensively. But much like the Kiffy-Salgado relationship we talked about, Omar Gordon, Alvin Jones, great 1-2 punch.
Here's Garcia and in swinger. No assists this season. Towards the back post. And that will be a foul, taking down Intoko in the process. A good ball in, though, from Garcia.
Just a pass post run from one of the center backs. I think we saw Atiba Harris, then trailing run, just coming through the body. All the way back around, and yeah, it comes right over the top of him for sure. It's always difficult from a momentum standpoint, how you're stepping to the ball to go win it, and you want to bring that power to come across it and challenge the goalkeeper, but at the same point in time, when you're leaping in a 50-50 type situation, have to go straight up in the air, otherwise the referee will recognize the threat. He points the other direction, and El Paso once again can start their possession run, if you will.
Have to redo that free kick. Here's Salgado trying to hold play up here for El Paso. He gets taken down. It's Callum Ross, a Newcastle, England native. And to Richie Ryan, ready to put it back in play. Here's Drew Becky now. Kiffy surveying and switches the play now. Fox on the ball. Trying for something there on that left side. It's won back by Ross. Maybe OKC can spring something. Looking for Shawn Brown. Cordell Cato trying to make a run over. Kiffy wins it back, and he gets taken down. That could be the first yellow card, and yes, it is. Thomas Schneider goes to his pocket. The first caution of the match to John Brown.
It just felt like there was an opportunity for El Paso to go in transition. He commits the professional foul. Shawn Brown had done such a good job to track back and hold up play. Unfortunately, could not connect on the second ball coming out of midfield. There was a good shout just a moment ago from Mark Lowry, manager of El Paso Locomotive. In possession on that far side, Salgado holding as well, and he said, Chapa, go play. Felt like there was a lack of cohesion in the middle. And there was about a 20 or 30 yard span right in the center of the field. Well, Richie Ryan was occupying the far side, and no one on this near side to allow them to kind of switch direction and change things up.
And a shout for handball. Energy FC want to play quickly. The man in the middle, Thomas Schneider, will bring play back. And I think he's going to his pocket again. And yes, it will. I'm not sure who this is intended for, but it was on that handball just a few moments ago. It looks like Drew Becky. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, he reaches out for it. He sees the bounces off.
He goes down in the box. The whistle blows. And a penalty. Drew Becky is not too pleased about that call. But it will be a penalty upcoming for Energy FC. El Paso conceded 3 penalties on the season. This their 4th. It was on that set piece. Looks like Garcia will come up to take it. Becky is not too happy. He throws his protective headgear to the side. And here we go. OKC 2 for 4 this season on penalties. Rafa Garcia trying to open the scoring here in the 29th minute. Rafa Garcia and Logan Ketterer. Garcia, and it's saved off the post, but it goes in! OKC Energy strike first on the spot. Unfortunate if you're Ketterer, but Garcia, his 3rd goal of the season.
We said that Shawn Brown was the hot hand coming in, 3 and 5. Guess who? Rafa Garcia. Not bad himself. He's got 2 goals in the same time frame. Mr. Automatic from the spot. Lovely penalty to the bottom corner. Not much the goalkeeper can do about that. That's one where he just reads the momentum coming across the hips. Guesses right as well. Tries to get his outstretched arm onto it, but can do nothing but watch as the California native puts it in the bottom corner and puts the home squad out in front.
So cruel if you're Logan Ketterer in that situation. You get your fingertip to it, but not enough. Might have gotten 2 fingers to it, might have needed 3. It's down that right side for Gordon. Cato trying to keep it in the area. It's won back by El Paso. So the penalty came from the handball by Drew Becky, which then set up a free kick opportunity. It was Cordell Cato going down at the top of the box. And then Rafa Garcia putting it in the bottom corner and giving Energy FC the advantage.
It's the 2nd time Drew Becky has conceded a penalty in the past few matches. Actually took a player down in that match against San Antonio FC. Back on June 26th, Jack Barmby was denied from the spot. And a lot of people felt was questionable. And they always say ball don't lie.
Here's Cato. And then Toko there to take it away. Rafa Garcia at the edge of the area. And yes, he did push Chapa down, and the whistle blows. All of a sudden, this game has sprung to life.
We were discussing right around the 25-minute mark how there needed to be a relief of pressure for Energy FC. They started to gain a bit of possession, really grow into this match. There was the counter-attacking option by Omar Gordon. Couldn't finish that one off. And then really El Paso hadn't pushed that high over midfield. There was the one look where on the far touchline they lacked a bit of cohesion, but Energy FC always moving their line higher and higher, rewarded with the penalty.
Here's Williams to the end line and straight into the side netting. Fans follow OKC Energy and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at espnplus.com. So we saw those 3 early corner kicks from El Paso. And ever since then, ever since that third corner where Gordon was sprung free, haven't really seen much in the attacking side for El Paso.
And they realized that they weren't able to get Kiesewetter on the ball very much. They've moved him now back into the middle. Really the focal point of this squad going forward. It was Salgado, and he really in a two-man tandem. Not the case anymore. Salgado's pretty much gone back to that left side to allow the German to see if he can stretch himself in behind Biaga and Atiba Harris. Hasn't caused many problems for them. And the balance of James Kiffey on this near side really lacking as well. A team that really utilizes him well on that left side. And they would counterbalance it from the overlapping runs on the right. That hasn't been the case. A lot going through the midfield on the left. Not necessarily runs coming from Andrew Fox, but have not been able to get Kiffey involved in the action going forward.
Now in Toko, but we've seen that pressure from Brown and Gordon. They've given this back line for El Paso some fits. And some giveaways at the back have sprung free some half chances for Energy FC. Here's Salgado. Trying to find Kiffey. Here's Kiffey to his left foot, centers it. Great save, Randy. A kick save and a beauty by the Energy FC goalkeeper. That's a little bit better from El Paso. So they try to build forward again. Here's Salgado. Kiffey now. Kiesewetter here on this near side. And it's cleared out of play, a throw in for El Paso.
I said they needed to find a way to get Kiffey involved. How's this? Just rotate it back out. There's Salgado from the left midfielder position coming back in. The overlapping runs have caused a lot of problems for Energy FC. Tracking players out of their natural position, proving difficult for Steve Cook's boys. El Paso should have done better. Puts it on a platter for him right outside of the 6 and just can't finish it off.
Not saying that wasn't the right decision, but he could have taken that himself on his left foot as well. But the unselfish play, giving his team potentially a better opportunity to score, if not for a great save by Cody Lorendi.
And it's programmable for like
10 minutes away from halftime. OKC with the advantage via the Rafa Garcia penalty kick. Logan Ketter had 8 clean sheets coming in, and it'll stay at 8 past this evening. We talked about the injuries for El Paso. They have a nice 10-day break upcoming, and I'm sure they will use that to get healthy. It's cleared away by Atiba Harris.
Now interesting, a squad that on the defensive side of things really had been surefire keeping that 0. And now once again, they continue their streak. 3 in the last 4 games where they're not able to keep a clean sheet. Las Vegas Lights started that trend on June 22nd. Followed up with Fresno in that 3-0 drubbing last week. And now once again, Energy FC proving that they are fallible.
Trying to get it forward. And the whistle blows to go back to Energy FC. Here's that chance once again from Kiffey.
Great little cutback. Just puts it right back across. Everything you want from your outside back, who has been so graceful on that left side, moving over to the right tonight. If they can find a way to just consistently get him going, that is the look that will be the key to success for El Paso Locomotive. I always talk with Mark Lowry about how impressive it is, and I was alluding this to you coming into the match, how they could turn this into a 3-back system real quick with Kiffey on the left side. Well, it's not on the left anymore. Now it's on the right. So can they replicate that now that he's in that unnatural position we referenced where Salgado would cut in? Now can Kiffey do the same and really become a factor on this right side?
It has to be something that OKC needs to be aware of. That he wants to get it back on that left foot nearly every time he's in possession, especially in attacking areas. As Gordon keeps it in play down the wing. before Intoko knocks it away, but Gordon has caused all sorts of trouble for this El Paso back line. On paper, you can see he's dangerous with 4 goals and 6 assists, Omar Gordon. So far tonight, he's shown how dangerous he can be. It's played wide for Cato, who can't keep it in play. So Energy FC have 1 goal so far tonight, and for about 2 months, that's all they've done, is gotten that 1 goal. Now we'll see if they can double it and maybe even make it more. Haven't scored multiple goals in nearly 2 months. Here's Shawn Brown. Now for Shawn Brown, who will let this go out of play for another corner kick for Energy FC.
Really smart here by Shawn Brown. I was wondering for a second why he was going to let it run over the line. It did take a tiny deflection off a Locomotive player. This gives you a bit of breathing room now. Remember how dangerous they were right around the 30-minute mark. A couple opportunities, balls floated in when you get Atiba Harris and Ibiaga up involved. So tall, pushing the 6'3", 6'4", and 6'5" barrier, as opposed to the back line of El Paso Locomotive, who just a bit smaller.
Will once again be Rafa Garcia to take this corner kick. The in-swinger. Towards the back post again. Looks like Intoko was there first to it. Been a lot of one-way traffic for Energy FC in the past 10 or so minutes. That 1 chance for El Paso, but aside from that, it's been a lot of OKC energy. Garcia looking for Cato. It's cleared away. Maybe a chance to counter if El Paso can get this right. Salgado wins it. Kiesevetter's right in the middle if they can find him. And a big deflection will take this out for another corner, but Kiesevetter running straight down the middle.
About ripped you out of your chair trying to point to him. Super excited that maybe they had found something down here. Kiesevetter peeling off to the back post. Salgado, great left foot of his. Unfortunately could not connect. And for the visitors, heck of a shift they've put in the opening 40 minutes so far. A boatload of mileage covered, though nothing to show for it just yet. Hoping maybe they can replicate some of the impressive form Energy FC have had from their set pieces, with Chiro coming up high.
Here's Kiffy to take the corner again. Stays in the area. Salgado. And the whistle blows on the contact by Contreras. El Paso has not been able to take advantage of these 4 corner kicks here in this first half. And you mentioned that height differential, that might have something to do with it.
You can see it, and also a lack of imagination, to be honest, as the referee will have a conversation with both Mikkel Williams and Cody Lorending trying to speed up play. When things aren't going your direction, maybe step outside of the box. Go back to the training ground on something you've worked on, where if that long ball to the back post redirected isn't working, and even a direct one in or around the 6, play short. You know, make Energy FC come out and challenge you. They're so good on the ball, maintaining possession. Why not play a little 2-man game down in the corner, rotate back to the top of the box, and look for a striking opportunity just outside the 18.
El Paso Locomotive now. As Salgado gets taken down, will the referee go to his pocket? And yes, he will. Another yellow card, the 3rd of the match overall, and the 2nd for OKC Energy. Salgado is still down on the ground.
Coming from guess who? The man who just came back from yellow card accumulation, and Atiba Harris. Center back trying to challenge Omar Salgado, coming really high, gambling, to be honest, with Kiesevetter in behind, and just unnecessary. All the white bodies around him, there's no need. You've stopped the threat. Just make him go in the negative direction. Allow all your teammates to track in behind you, and then just continue play on. Instead, oversteps and goes back into the book.
That hold-up play by Salgado has been decently effective tonight. I'm sure we'll see much more of that into this second half and the end of this first half.
It's a good talking point, and notice how good he's been on the ball. Unfortunately, the runs in behind, they haven't been able to connect. It's that second and third opportunity they're looking for.
Once again, another set piece is cleared away by Energy FC. And then the foul by Chapa. Seems like Omar Gordon has been all over this field. And some miscommunication on this near side. But if you're El Paso, is there anything tactically you need to change going into halftime and in that second half?
If I'm Mark Lowry, and I guarantee you he's going to address this with his guys, they have to find a way to put a bit more pace on the ball and look for something more direct. It's a team that has no problem putting it down, which we've seen, but that long ball to stretch, we've really only seen one or two test the back line of Energy FC. Every single time they have, it's worked. Now they haven't found the back of the net. But you play that long ball in over the top where maybe you have Salgado check the first time, but then the second one, play Jerome down into the corner or play Salgado down into the corner and let 2-3 guys run onto it. That's something they really haven't tested enough.
Pardon the pun, but is the energy of this El Paso side up enough, do you think?
Pretty traditional in their movements right now. This is what they look like. The problem is trailing over into the final third, lacking a bit. The creation isn't necessarily there, much like we talked about from the corners a second ago. Pretty methodical in their ways. Left and right, side to side, nothing really challenging them. And yes, you can do it. Yes, you can maintain possession. And the mental fortitude that it takes to continuously track all this, guys, is difficult. I mean, the physical side is obviously demanding, but mentally, as an Energy FC player, you're always on the lookout for the next run, and that's difficult to handle. But at some point in time, El Paso have to pull the trigger here. And I'm not talking about strikes from distance. Yes, that's nice as well.
You've seen that once already.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got speedy guys in Kiesewetter. Contreras can go with pace. Even the overlapping runs from Kiffy, that's just got to be more frequent. Anytime they have gone in that direction, they've had a bit of success. So use it again.
And here is Kiesewetter. He hasn't been on the ball too much. The cross in! Another great save by Lorendi, and he makes it another! Cody Lorendi standing on his head. Two great saves to follow up the one from about 20 minutes ago. But that's much better going forward for El Paso Locomotive, and it was Jerome Kiesewetter on the ball.
Right on cue. There's the diagonal run coming off the back line down into the channel, and then the overlapping just into the middle. That's the look where it spreads the back line out, creates space, and also opportunities for the trailing runs from Locomotive.
So we get 1 minute of stoppage time. This one is cleared out of play, but Cody Lorendi, what a match for him. He came in with 58 saves, and he's just adding to that total here tonight, stonewalling this El Paso front line. Going back to El Paso for just a moment, their third road match in 10 days. This all comes before about a 10-day break for them. You wonder if fatigue will be a factor going into this second 45 minutes. Maybe one more attack for Energy FC. Here's Shawn Brown. Shawn Brown is wide. He gets into the middle. A bit of a heavy touch by Cato. And that should bring us to halftime here at Taft Stadium in Oklahoma City. There's the goal scorer, Rafa Garcia. Gets OKC Energy going from the spot.
El Paso 0.
And that will send us to halftime. Logan Ketterer got just a fingertip on that penalty by Rafa Garcia. But aside from that, we are still looking for that equalizer by El Paso. We'll be back to take you around USL Championship right after this halftime from Oklahoma City.
The mission of the Central Oklahoma Humane Society is to stop euthanasia of healthy adoptable animals in Oklahoma City. For us, it's all about connections. We connect between adopters and fosters, we connect internally, and we connect with our donors and our community. Cox Business helps us make those connections. Our organization has Cox Business high-speed internet and the IP-Centrics managed phone system. It really has made a difference. They're always reliable.
Goals are something we outline for ourselves, and oftentimes they can be pretty lofty. When things begin to line up the way we think they should, we appreciate those who helped us along the way, like the help you get with commercial banking from FFB. Our experts are ready to partner with you to help you manage cash flow, oversee accounts through online banking, and help you secure a business line of credit. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB. We go where you go.
Mercy helps the energy get to the top of their game. We can help you get to the top of yours.
Halftime in Oklahoma City. It's brought to you by Mercy. Oklahoma City Energy FC with the 1-0 advantage over El Paso Locomotive. And it was an exciting first half. Just one goal to show for it from the spot. And let's get to the highlights from that first half. OKC Energy and El Paso Locomotive. And it was El Paso, they kind of had that first few minutes in this match, and it was Contreras from well outside the box.
It came in waves, didn't it, for the visitors? They started the match a bit slow, but then around minute 10 really picked it up. The opening 10 minutes always a bit choppy, but it started to look nice for Mark Lowry's boys. A couple strikes from distance. Then the chance where the home squad started to get into it, and I said they just needed to find a way to relieve a bit of the push that was coming from the visiting squad. This one came in the likes of Omar Gordon. A restart coming from the corner where everybody was so high, including the back line. Toko trailing run, but a great job by Logan Ketterer coming off his line, just making himself big. And then, is it a penalty? Yeah, 100% it is. Drew Becky upset that he does take him down, but there is enough for the referee to point to the spot. In steps, guess who? Rafa Garcia. 3 goals in the past 6 matches, all from the penalty mark. That started against Phoenix Rising, and he's made him run through it. Bottom left corner, Ketterer can do nothing but watch. Do the heads go down? No, they don't. It was really interesting to see what El Paso was able to do when they stuck to their bread and butter. I kept saying, if you find a way to use your big guns, you will be successful. A la James Kiffey. Great cut inside, puts this on a platter for Contreras, and just right at the goalkeeper. And you have to give credit to Cody Lerndy, because these are a couple saves coming down the stretch that are very difficult to make. However, the strikers could have done much better for it. Once again, overlapping run on the outside. This is Kiesfeder down into the channel. Good ball back across. Salgado can do nothing. Goalkeeper still has to make the save, but you pay attention to both of the strikes. They're right at him. The second one is much more impressive. He has to collect his thoughts, come off his line, compose himself, and then get right back to action.
The shots 3-2 in favor of El Paso Locomotive. The shots, I don't think, really explain how really exciting that first half was. Back and forth it was. Not a whole lot of shots to show for it, but that possession, 71% for El Paso Locomotive. They have not had a match this season where it was under 50%, and doesn't look like it'll be there again. So we'll take another break. We'll be right back here on the Mercy Halftime Show.
Monarchs go for goal, and they find it! Opiel's gone for goal, another deflection, off the post and in! Tacoma on top, shot, and goal! What a beauty!
Justin Dillon moving up the middle, he's going to push that ball wide toward Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a first touch cross, back inside for Dillon, and a goal!
Inside the 18, shot, push wide!
Loose in front, it's Freighter! What a hit!
Gets the box. Headed down.
Oh,
and
my
Prater.
goodness. To Kiesewetter. Kiesewetter in for the goal. Nice cross. Kiesewetter.
Asante outside the box. Asante. Goal.
It's Rios. It's a great cross. Daniel Rios again.
Brian Brown sends it, and it's a goal! Brian Brown. Lubin, what a save! A second save, loose in front.
And Lubin guarding the post.
Denied by McCarthy.
A lot more height on it. McCarthy, a great save. On the volley. Oh, what a save. Newton again.
Collier curls, saved.
Ooh, looking for a shooting lane, coming aloft. Pipped away. He got it on frame. Olsen up to the task.
Dico with a touch. Great save, Tempakis.
Shot on. Tempakis with a great save. Nice little 1-2. Caleb Richards. Richards getting it back. Caleb Richards.
Douglas Martinez able to put it back in.
Martinez puts it back to Coffee. Goal!
Lofted ball in. Williamson.
Good build up here for Portland Timbers too. Good chance for Williamson.
Swinging away. Header. Robertson. Follow up in from Lobo.
Well, the header comes in. A great save and on the follow.
Outside at the top of the box, it's dangerous from there. What a fantastic finish!
Back here in Oklahoma City, it is halftime presented by Mercy, and it is Oklahoma City Energy FC on top of El Paso Locomotive 1-0 here at halftime. As we take a look at what is upcoming for both of these sides, we will start with OKC Energy. A few home games, a few road games. What sticks out there in that 5-game stretch?
Points. I'm salivating at the opportunity to go get some points. You're going to have to do it on the road and at altitude. But, you know, a tough challenge against Reno and a tough challenge against Fresno. The other three, you should most assuredly, the way that you're playing now, go get 3 points. Switchbacks FC relieving Steve Tritchie of his duties. And yes, it's on the road, but a good opportunity there. Then the Fighting Chris Littles, Tacoma Defiance, and Michael Insian's boys, who started red hot in the Western Conference for the Tulsa Roughnecks, but unfortunately have fallen flat recently.
And Justin Dillon from Tacoma Defiance up playing with the Seattle Sounders, so he is not there no more. And on the other side for El Paso, they have a bit of a break upcoming before they get back into it against San Antonio FC on the 17th.
This schedule makes me nauseous. That's the amount of stuff that they have to do. We said that OKC Energy FC an opportunity to get points. El Paso's going to have to fight their way through it. Mark Lowry told us that he feels the second half of the season is going to be better than the first. I hope they have good form. This is a very, very difficult schedule to manage. San Antonio FC, who's starting to come into their own. Real Monarchs, they're the real one. They're on a 3-game win streak, just relieved their coach of duties. They play New Mexico United this weekend, so that'll be a good test tonight to see what's going on there. New Mexico United on a bit of an Open Cup hangover. Haven't been able to do well in league play. They'll challenge on the road at Minnesota United, and then T2, Phoenix, just a really one that's going to be hard to get points on a regular basis on. That's what we talked about, that midseason form. Can it translate into points when push comes to shove?
And New Mexico United also going to Minnesota United for the U.S. Open Cup. Some news and notes from around the league. Christian Sorto getting his USL Championship account opened up, gets Player of the Week with his big performance for Loudoun. And Brian Brown is off to Albania, leaving Reno 1868 FC, and then the coaching carousel, as you kind of mentioned just a moment ago.
For Brian Brown, good for him. You better believe he got paid. He deserved it. And in the form that he's been in, everything's great. But now, what can Ian Russell's boys up top do? Corey Herzog, Danny Mazovsky had a decent run so far, but now a true opportunity to step up, take advantage of the opportunity being given, because Brian Brown's gone. Someone's got to be the focal point. Can it be one of them?
For classroom supplies.
Outlining your own destiny is something we all take pride in. And knowing we're doing what we love is what makes this life adventure so exciting. Isn't it nice to have a banking partner that's along for the ride? FFB makes life easier with a simple click and snap, so things like mobile banking and deposits can be done anywhere, anytime. Plus free bill pay. person-to-person transfers, and Apple Pay. With free ATMs worldwide, why wouldn't you want a bank that gives you this much freedom? FFB. We go where you go.
Mercy helps the energy get to the top of their game. We can help you get to the top of yours.
Success is achieved through hard work, and many business owners work tirelessly for years to realize the dream of franchising their business. FFB partners with companies of all sizes every day and offers an extensive variety of treasury services. FFB will outline a plan just for you, help you streamline cash flow, and monitor your business transactions. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB. We go where you go.
Almost set for the second 45 minutes in Oklahoma City at Taft Stadium. It's brought to you by Mercy. And it is 1-0 to the home side for Oklahoma City Energy. And it was Rafa Garcia getting on the score sheet, his third goal on the season. Just sneaking a penalty kick by Logan Ketterer. He did get a fingertip on it, but unable to keep it out here as we are just about set for this second half. Let's go back and look at this whole penalty scenario again.
Just a little trip up right in the box, and we've given a couple looks to it, and he pulls the shoulder is the problem. It's right in front of the referee. Is there a massive amount of contact? No. I promise you El Paso Locomotive fans are furious, but the problem is when you're in all of that traffic, bodies are going to connect with each other, and Drew Becky has his arm reached out a little bit, just pulls it across, and it's right in front of the referee. That's what gets him in the most trouble. And once again, Rafa Garcia, the man with the plan, anytime that you're just within paces from the net. 3 of his past 4 goals have come from the spot. Rafa Garcia, so good. Actually took over penalty duties from Shawn Brown, who was in charge of that earlier on this season. It's not a bad looking view, is it?
Nah, downtown Oklahoma City. It's been a busy place around the sporting world this past few days. And right now, the home side looking to keep that clean sheet and get 3 more points. It'll be 2 weeks in a row getting big 3 points, and especially at home. Coming off that last home match against Phoenix Rising FC, that 4-1 defeat. I think they want to defend their home turf here tonight.
4-1 defeat, a 4-1 defeat where Phoenix Rising were down to 10 men.
Yeah.
So a bit of an embarrassment at certain points in time. And much like what Steve Cook is trying to figure out here, Mark Lowry dealing with the same thing, the 2 of them with injuries and rotation, international duty. That was probably the reason why OKC struggled so much. You're talking about big names that were not involved. Mikkel Williams with TNT. Atiba Harris had been training with St. Kitts and then came back. Alvin Jones with Trinidad and Tobago as well. And just an opportunity now for some of the guys to come back. Cordell Cato in the 10 spot. When you start to lose 4 or 5 guys in the starting 11 rotation and ask guys that are much more in a supplemental role to come off and help out, there's going to be a lack of cohesion. That was the case. And even when Rafa Garcia got the penalty, it still wasn't enough. And to be fair, Phoenix Rising playing the best, not just in the Western Conference, but in the USL Championship right now.
And there is the home side huddling up as they will look to get those 3 points. And it was a tough month of June, just 1 win. Went 1, 2, and 4. That 1 win coming on the second to last day of the month. But 3 points up for grabs here tonight, and the home side has the advantage, at least as we stand right now. We saw some good moments from El Paso Locomotive. They're in the dying embers of that first half. But we'll see if they can sneak one by Cody Lorendi. who's been up to the task so far tonight. We are underway here for the second 45 minutes here at Taft Stadium. Josh Eastern, Devin Kerr here with you. So we will see who will come away with the points here tonight. Can El Paso get on the score sheet? Or will Oklahoma City be able to protect that home turf? Here's Omar Gordon on the ball. It's been all over the place in the first half, as the Rendy gets an early touch here in the second half. So early on, we'll see what the changes are from both sides. From Steve Cook in Oklahoma City and Mark Lowry and El Paso Locomotive. It's really up to El Paso to find that equalizer and try to find something out of this match. We've seen El Paso on the ball quite a bit in this match. Oklahoma City opening up this second half on the ball. Trying to get it wide for Williams. If he can keep it in, he can. Left-footed cross. As he switches the field, it goes out of play for a goal kick.
I mean, on low, it would probably last 2 days. Now on high,
with the live standings, Oklahoma City Energy up to 4th place with 28 points. They can hold on here tonight. It's being their 19th game of the season. And even through that tough month of June, they are still right there at the top.
A little bit of a bounce off the hand of Energy FC player right in the middle of the field. Mikkel Williams had tracked over. And if El Paso is to salvage a point, or even better, complete a comeback, they'll do something that not many teams have been able to do. Energy FC 35-2-6 all-time with leading at halftime. That is a massive number.
It's definitely going to be an uphill battle for El Paso. They've gone through some tough times. They're still right in the thick of things. They would sit 6th in the table in that Western Conference, with the result holding as it is right now. Here's Cordell Cato. It's won back by El Paso. They will continue to knock this ball around, trying to build something forward. We saw them get James Kiffey involved there at the end of that first half, something that you mentioned. And it worked, at least for that opportunity. Omar Gordon now. Kiesewetter has not been on the ball as much as I think Mark Lowry would like. He's their goal-scoring machine, 10 goals, and now this being his 14th appearance. Energy parents, sign your kids up for the all-new Energy FC Kids Club presented by Supermercados Morelos. Visit energyfc.com/kidsclub to learn more. We were talking with Steve Cook this week. We talked about trying to build off of that win over Las Vegas last week, and if they can get another win here tonight, that'd be 2 in a row. Maybe something brewing here in Oklahoma City. Is it set forward for Kiesewetter? Another great save, Kiesewetter off the post. Oh, it's just not happening for El Paso. And loud shouts for another maybe yellow card as Brown goes down. But what a moment there on the other end.
It's one side, there's the movement inside. Ross just touching it through to Kieswetter out in space. Great save on the first part. Denied by the woodwork on the second. Quick sigh of relief as Atiba Harris standing on the near post next to Mikkel Williams. Both can just watch as Kieswetter pushes it away. There was a shout on the near touchline here. Steve Cook wanted a foul. Felt like the overlapping run of Omar Gordon was impeded with the trailer. Ross coming back across. Referee didn't see it.
It was like a horse collar on Gordon.
And now here's Cato. Trying to build something forward, not happening at this moment. Maybe a chance for El Paso to counter. It's Salgado down this left flank. Kieswetter's in the middle. Contreras is there too towards the near post. And it's cleared away, at least for the moment. Garcia gets his head to it. It will be a throw-in for El Paso. These past few moments for El Paso, though, looking more positive. Here's Fox. Just seems like whenever Kieswetter has the ball at his feet, just feel like something is brewing, something could happen. You have 10 goals in just about as many appearances. You earn that respect from the opponent. It's deflected out, and it will be a goal kick awarded.
Cordo Cato's got to find a way to help out with the block. He's trying to set up the defensive unit. Energy FC in the middle of the field. He's playing pretty high and allowing Richie Ryan, Chapa, Nick Ross to really float back and forth, dictate the run of play going forward for Locomotive. So coming into the match that really like to see Bassetti get involved in the run of play, and that's 100% his shirt that he's got to go win back from Cato, who has been the bright light on the left and in the middle of the field, coming over from the Charlotte Independence. Steve Cook saying that didn't necessarily fit that system very well under Mike Jeffries and the plans going forward that were previously Jim McGinnis, though Jeffries back at the helm.
And there is Cato on the ball. Rolls it across. Got nothing behind that one. And a high boot. He will go to his pocket again. And this will be a yellow card for the goal scorer, Rafa Garcia. Third card of the night for OKC Energy FC.
Right decision by Thomas Schneider as Rafa Garcia studs up the entire time. Dangerous. When Ross trying to move his way up the pitch. Said Nick Ross starting to have a bit more freedom centrally. Now that Cato hasn't been tracking back as much, trying to play alongside the Shawn Brown up top. Not necessarily a look that's going to bode well defensively for Energy FC.
Here's Fox now. Contreras. The pressure being shown by Energy FC, making it very difficult for El Paso to play out. Shawn Brown has been very active in that pressing role at that number 9 spot tonight for OKC Energy. Haven't seen him on the ball too much, but he's still making his presence felt.
He's really shutting down that outlet pass coming from Intoko on the left side just a moment ago. There's another look. Andrew Fox really too close to the center back.
And a misplay at the back. Here's to Shawn Brown. He scored last week. A great save by Ketterer. Oh, it's a goalkeeping clinic tonight in OKC. Logan Ketterer was not about to make it two.
Watch this little touch just inside. Love the movement back across Intoko's body. Are you kidding me? Shawn Brown, so well done. Has the patience to bring it across his own body and then hits it with a massive amount of pace. Unfortunately, Ketterer, once again, to your point, both goalkeepers doing very well for themselves.
Todd, as a goalkeeper, make yourself big in those situations, and that one just catching the left hand of Logan Ketterer. He couldn't quite keep out that penalty, but he keeps out what could have been the second goal for OKC.
Just before that, we were chatting about Andrew Fox and the lack of movement going forward on this side. There was a good look just now. Salgado tracking back in, wanted to put that ball down into the corner and let Fox run onto it. Unfortunately, Fox reading a different book. Just a shout from Nick Ross just after. The communication at least is in full effect. Unfortunately, can't execute.
The player goes down for for El Paso. That is Kiesewetter. Mikkel Williams talking with head referee Thomas Snyder.
Trailing back across, gets stuck in behind. Sometimes your legs start to get a little bit heavy with all the chasing you have to do. We referenced that earlier. The mental fortitude that it takes as well as physical demands.
Salgado couldn't quite keep it, but El Paso gets it back. It's wide here for Fox, and maybe a sub Redding on the near side. Here's Kiesewetter. Right into the middle. It's headed away. It's kept in there on the end line. And OKC Energy can come back the other way. It's a throw in for El Paso. OKC did not like that call. Here's Contreras now. Contreras trying to find some room. He has Fox. Now it's played around the back here for El Paso. But boy, talking about these goalkeepers tonight, they have both been very, very impressive. Cody Lorendi coming in with 58 saves. Logan Ketter just with half that amount. They have been equally as important here tonight. That last line of defense, both been very impressive.
Cody Lorendi, Mr. Energy FC. Has done very well for himself in the 2019 campaign. Gives you an idea of why Steve Cook on a regular basis talks so highly of his netminder. And then Logan Ketterer was a good shout from Mark Lowry. Said when he was putting this roster together, he knew the three things that needed to go get immediately. He had a specific type of goalkeeper, center back, and holding midfielder that he wanted to go after. Richie Ryan was in that topic of conversation. Center backs took them a bit longer to go after, though Logan Ketterer was his man. Didn't have a boatload of reps under Columbus Crew.
Now a chance, Shawn Brown on the ball. Cordell Cato now. It's taken away as Nick Ross tracked back in defense.
The biggest reason that he wanted Ketterer was that he was in that system under Berhalter, where the manager demands that the goalkeeper able to play out of the back with his feet, and you can see that from their system so many times. They're asking Ketterer to be active on the ball.
It's ahead for Salgado. He's in behind. The flag goes up. Just a tad too early by Omar Salgado. We've seen that a few times tonight in the big number 9.
Notice a lot of the space that is becoming available with those balls down into the corner are on the right side for El Paso. It's getting in behind Mikkel Williams, much like Andrew Fox and James Kiffey, especially Kiffey. You'll see the marking backs play the high line. You'll get the same looks out of Williams and Jones. They don't necessarily get involved as much going forward, but they do cheat a little bit. And every now and then, Locomotive just keeping them honest, taking a look up, spraying a ball in behind, and see what they can make of it. Unfortunately, Salgado has to keep his head on a bit more of a swivel.
There have been some opportunities for El Paso and for Oklahoma City in this second half. Here's another chance. Cordell Cato on this near side. Into the middle. Another shot for penalty as Shawn Brown goes down. And it is another spot kick upcoming for Energy FC.
Just when you thought maybe a bit of momentum was to be had after the last chance, ball gets sprays in by Omar Gordon. And just a single-man wrecking crew. Kiffey doing some damage on Jonathan Brown, who's tentative in his actions coming up from the turf. An opportunity now to get out in front, get that 2-goal cushion. We said that Energy FC been lacking as of late. the singularity on the offensive side of the ball ever apparent. And it's just a bit of an argument coming from Jonathan Brown as to exactly why he ended up on his backside.
It felt like just an innocent cross into the box by Omar Gordon, but I give him a lot of credit. It's Shawn Brown now coming up to take. Will not be Rafa Garcia like we saw a few moments ago in that first half.
And remember, I mentioned Rafa Garcia took over the duties because Brown wasn't necessarily on the best run of form from the penalty mark. He actually missed one earlier in the game against San Antonio FC. And now an opportunity for him to retake, play the guessing games with Logan Ketterer.
So already a penalty kick goal tonight. Here's to Shawn Brown. And a save by Ketterer. And he nearly put it in his own net once again. But a great save by Ketterer. And once again, the goalkeeper's coming up clutch.
Just not a good taken penalty. Puts it on the ground. And I don't mind you going low, but if you're going to do that, you have to hit it with pace. You have to wonder what the topic of conversation was on the field as to why Rafa Garcia not allowed to step up and hit this. And I say allowed because a lot of times you'll see guys who are in goal-scoring prowess in the likes of Shawn Brown say, hey, give me the ball. I need a bit of confidence going forward. That was probably the case here, and unfortunately, opportunity lost.
And we will get our first substitution tonight for El Paso Locomotive. It'll be Aaron Gomez coming on, replacing number 10 man Sebastian Contreras. We're trying to bring some fresh legs on from Mark Lowry.
Come on now, switch up. Let's go.
So Josue Gomez on. It's forward for El Paso, into the box, and it's into the back of the net! Seemingly coming out of nothing. Chapa on the score sheet, and we are level in Oklahoma City. His first goal on the season in league play. Oklahoma City don't like it, but it looks like it is all level at Taft Stadium.
Thomas Schneider settling some things down on the backside. More importantly, Chapa. Love the shout from the manager in the first half. He said, Chapa, go play. Have a little fun up top. It's exactly what goes on here. Williams can't get it right. There is a shove on the backside. Isn't enough for the referee to blow a foul. Chapa gets the deflection off of Williams as well. And he repays the favor that was the first half to get them back into this match.
So El Paso finally getting on the score sheet. And now all to play for here in this second half. And now where do we go from here? It could have been 2-0 from Energy FC just a few moments ago with their second penalty. Logan Ketterer comes up with a huge save, and then quickly on the other end, Chapa makes Energy FC pay, and we are level, and that is actually not going to go as a goal for El Paso. It'll be an own goal from Williams. So wipe it away for Chapa, nearly his first goal in the season. Instead, Williams with the own goal.
Unfortunately, statistically, he won't get it, but I promise you, when they're in the dressing room, yeah, they're going to have a go at that, as he had a boatload of work to be done. Herrera doing a good job, really going after 3-4 guys in white shirts. Yes, there's a little shove. Yes, he gets a deflection, but a lot of hard work to be done, and he's able to execute.
Now Nick Ross. A set piece here on this near side. What can El Paso do with this set piece opportunity? And all of a sudden, we're back level at 1-1. Could not find a blue jersey. Maybe the second ball in, and it still won't work. Gomez in there on that challenge. OKC Energy come away with it. A long ball over the top. Looking for Gordon. Gordon trying to get inside, a weak shot. As Snyder waves away the penalty shout.
Coming in, you and I were talking about how the pitch was going to challenge El Paso Locomotive. Here's a good look at what it does to Omar Gordon, and that's a guy who plays on this on a regular basis. Just really difficult on these alternative surfaces to judge if a ball's going to check up on you or not. That's what happens to Omar Gordon when it gets out in front of him. Just has a bit of English that cuts back hard with that rubber surface, and he tries to use the head to get it out in front of him. Unfortunately, it was all going to be a tall task and couldn't complete it off.
Another long ball over the top. Looking for Gomez again. In the middle, looking for Ross. So we've seen one sub by El Paso. What will we get from Energy FC? He's played forward for Gordon. Now Cato. There's a man in the middle. Gordon's making the run. Gordon couldn't quite find that far post. And he knows he missed a golden opportunity.
It's the form that falters right here. Lovely job by Cordell Cato to allow this run to develop. Great ball in behind, doesn't close his run off, and just gets right at the top of the 18th. He waits, even pump fakes a little bit. Gordon tracking away from it, trying to pick out the far post, and this is always going to come across the body. That's where you either have to take a touch and hit it, or put your laces on the ball. Take some of the sting out of it so you can go a bit more direct in your actions and at least put it on frame.
He didn't even make Logan Ketterer make a save in that situation. Maybe a foul throw in, and we'll go back to El Paso. And now if you're Steve Cook, who are you looking down at your bench at?
Outside of the run just now from Cordell Cato, felt like we were always going to see someone in the middle field in the likes of Alexi Bassetti.
Here's Salgado, and a good tackle won by Alvin Jones. Salgado putting his hands up in the air, maybe a chance to counter. It's ahead, Shawn Brown, gets it wide, Brown, great save, Ketterer. But once again, we're getting some end-to-end action all of a sudden.
And with the game opening up, that allows for opportunities for fresh legs to come on. That's why I mentioned the possibility of Bassetti come on, even Christian Isley, one of those two to help you stretch the game a little bit. They have Cal Olcott, though not as experienced as the other two. And some cramps starting to come into play here as Drew Becky goes to ground on this outstretched run. Really thought this was going to be a ball distributed to the back post, because he does a good job challenging. As Becky goes to ground, the angle is so minuscule to try and beat the goalkeeper. There is the back post run to Omar Gordon. Put a little bit of elevation underneath it, let the Jamaican go get it.
So Becky down. Becky just coming back from injury. Both center backs actually coming back from injury. Intoko and Becky. Mark Lowry very short-handed at the back in these past few weeks. Before the San Antonio match, saying the back four we have are the only four defenders that are fit. He joked and said it's easier to pick a team that way. But it's good to have, I'm sure, his starting two center backs back in action, able to play here for this road match.
That's where you're grateful for the appearance bonus at the end of the season. Coach, I'll just write this check out to myself, please. Thank you.
Those are some of the growing pains you go through in an inaugural season that El Paso are in. And Mark Lowry has seen a lot of these players in the past coming over from Jacksonville Armada. Brought a lot of those players with him. Maybe a chance on goal. Shawn Brown trying to find Shawn Brown. Another deflection at the back, and it's finally cleared. But once again, there's that pressure from Shawn Brown, giving this back line of El Paso something to think about on a regular basis. Cordell Cato, a nice touch to find some space. Cato towards the near post and just past the far post. I'm not sure if Brown got a deflection on it. Nonetheless, it will be a goal kick.
Really starting to put the pieces together. Energy FC 20 minutes to go in this match. Cordell Cato starting to grow into the game, was just calling for maybe a change in that area. Guess he took personal offense every time coming to this near side and finding a way to connect with the boys up top. Hasn't been able to do so yet, but a guy who has started to take some really positive steps over the past 10 minutes.
And once again, we come back to that talking point of no multiple goals in over 2 months. There's been plenty of chances for Energy FC, but it's all about putting that second goal away. Something they've been unable to do so, at least so far tonight. Shawn Brown nearly sprung free.
How interesting when you talked about the growing pains, how difficult it is to really hit the ground running at any level, yet alone in the USL Championship. Roster assembly, of course, front office staff, team admins, all of that at play.
Cato gets it wide. Brown has his cross deflected out.
When you compare the body of work of East to West, the Eastern Conference, 4 teams in Hartford, Birmingham, Memphis, and Loudoun.
Another long ball in, Kenner off his line and makes the grab.
They're all sitting below the playoff line and quite low, to be honest. 18th, 16th, 14th, and 13th for those first squads. 7 in the USL Championship in their expansion year. The other 3 in the West, Austin, El Paso, New Mexico, all within the top 7. So obviously the boys down in the Western Conference, it is a different game, but they have had a lot more success in the first half of the season.
And you even have the introduction of a new league that's here below in USL League One. Those guys are still trying to figure it out as well on the run. And that's what happens with more and more expansion. As soccer continues to grow, you saw a new team pop up in San Diego that could start here the next few years. So
Fighting Land Donovans.
It's an ever-growing sport here in this country.
And you and I were talking about the relationships that have been created as well, how it's so difficult to kind of keep an eye on everything that's going on at every level. But when you get an opportunity, a la Forward Madison and Minnesota United, or you can keep looking North Texas with FC Dallas. Phoenix Rising has gone down one with the opportunity to get involved in their organization and push a few numbers through there. So it's great to see an expansion franchise, but even more so when you can tie it all together.
Here's Salgado, a big looping cross. And this will go all the way out of play. And at least on the national stage tomorrow, one of the bigger days in American soccer in recent memory. Start off in the morning with a World Cup final and end it with a Gold Cup final. Fans get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for OKC Energy and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus get reminders on OKC Energy's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. So we're locked in a 1-1 draw. As we get into the final quarter of an hour plus stoppage time here at Taft Stadium. And here's Omar Gordon with plenty of space once again to Shawn Brown in the middle. As El Paso get numbers back. Cordell Cato now trying to cut it back. Here's Garcia in the middle. Gordon can't get by Chapa. And then he commits a foul. It was Rafa Garcia in the first half, scoring the penalty kick goal in the 29th minute, then the own goal by Mikkel Williams in the 62nd minute. That's where we stand. Only one sub has been used so far tonight. And it was by El Paso. Here's Cato, who's dropped deep a little bit. Flip forward, looking for Shawn Brown. Now Garcia. He hits Brown in the process. And now Gomez. Maybe a chance to run. A big collision with Ibeaga. You can hear Ibeaga yelling, "I got the ball." And now he has a yellow card. There's a big collision right in the middle.
The two managers on the sidelines having to go at each other as well. And there is a follow through. The problem is the initial touch comes off the ball. It's almost, to be honest, a bit clumsy from Ibeaga. And he just follows through and whacks Locomotive coming up through the middle. Both managers disagreeing with each other's opinions on the sidelines, having to go at each other.
He's lucky he didn't get more with that reaction to the yellow card. As Omar Gordon comes charging forward. But all he can do is clear it out for a throwing. Into the final quarter of an hour. Now looking for what could be the game-winning goal. This would be a massive road point for El Paso. Coming from behind. You know, both these teams may be looking to get 3 points here tonight and bolster their playoff chances, get higher up in that table. There'll be a set piece on that left side for Energy FC. Williams. Garcia. Ahead for Brown, wide for Williams. Onto that left foot. Headed out by Ntoko. Here's Jones. Wide for John Brown. Towards the near post, looking for Cato. Cleared out by Ntoko, and a corner kick for Energy FC.
Much like the flip-flop from El Paso in the first half. Salgado and Kiesewetter going side to side. We're seeing that now out of Jonathan Brown and Omar Gordon. Really like the look for it. It's the unbalanced attack that provides a bit of stability. Really challenging El Paso on the left and right sides, respectively.
Rafa Garcia, the outswinger, towards the near post. Headed along. And cleared away. A dangerous header there at the near post. Another ball clipped in. Kenner off his line. Cato comes away with it. He couldn't get it by Ross. And another player goes down, and the whistle blows. And Thomas Snyder go to his pocket. It was Chapa who went down, and now it'll be Derek Gebhard coming on. And it looks like this is the substitute coming off. It's Josue Gomez. That's something you don't see every day.
He did get whacked in the middle of the field a few minutes back, and wonder if maybe he picked something up. But the manager not happy with the performance. Does give you more of an offensive threat going forward. Josue Gomez much more inclined to stay possession-oriented, whereas Derek Gebhard gives you that vertical threat. Regardless, Josue Gomez has a much shorter shift than he's used to for the Mexican.
He came on right as El Paso scored that goal in the 62nd minute. And he comes off here in the 80th minute, so 18 minutes. Here's Salgado. And he wins a corner kick. Oh, he wins a goal kick. Looked like it deflected off of Salgado on the way out. Fans tune into ESPN3 on July 12th at 9 p.m. Central for a special Friday night edition of Wednesday Night Soccer, when Tacoma Defiance invades the fortress that is Zions Bank Stadium to try and slow down a surging Real Monarchs side. It's Wednesday Night Soccer on a Friday. See it all on July 12th at 9 p.m. Central on ESPN3. And that is Gomez walking off. Unsure of the reasoning here. And now some issues with head referee Thomas Schneider. Must be getting an earful from both sides tonight. Ten minutes remaining. Shawn Brown, he has 3 game winners on the season. The whistle blows. This could be a big decision for Thomas Schneider. What's the decision going to be? Is that denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity?
I'm shocked. And Steve Cook saying the same thing. It's the last defender because he's in alone here. The argument is that Becky's on the back shoulder. I get that, but there is a boatload of green room in front of him. And Toko coming back across. Drew Becky obviously not in the wrong for his actions. And the fourth official speaking to the coaching staff saying, you're yelling at me before the referees even made a decision. I understand that look as well. Regardless, watch out. Alvin Jones hits one of the deadliest set pieces from distance in the entire USL Championship. One of the goals that he had earlier this year, and the only goal he's had for OKC so far, was from about this distance. It was on the other side of the field, just off center. Much more dangerous of an opportunity here to challenge Logan Ketterer.
So the right back from Trinidad and Tobago standing over a very important free kick. Alvin Jones skies it. But you can see the danger in that right foot.
The kid has an absolute cannon of a right foot. One thing that troubled me a bit here, I'm surprised Jones didn't say something. This wall's not 10 yards. I can promise you. You can actually see the way that the pitch is laid down. It's around 8.5, and people say, oh, only 8.5. I promise you, that extra 1.5 yards or so really does give you a better opportunity to get the ball up and down a bit quicker. Very difficult from the Trinidad International, but you can see the talent that he has.
Now a chance for Gebhardt coming forward. Jones, a good tackle. Now Williams. Here's Ross. Ahead for Garcia with plenty of space. Wide for Gordon. Gordon chips it towards the back post, looking for Shawn Brown, and this will run out of play. A throw in here for El Paso as they look to build out of the back once again. This one's deflected out again. Fans of the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Are you surprised Steve Cook has not gone to his bench yet?
Initially, I was. When they hit the 70th minute mark, Cordell Cato decided he wanted to start playing a bit more. To be honest, just didn't like the movement out of him coming out of the middle, so he started to branch out a bit. You've really seen a lot of movement on the near line here. Great job by Omar Gordon. And just felt like everybody's growing into the game.
Here's Cordell Cato, centers it, deflected away by Ketterer. Boy, has he come up big tonight. And it looks like OKC now maybe readying a substitute. We'll see who it is in just a moment. Here's Omar Gordon now. Gordon looking for Shawn Brown, who goes down. And Thomas Schneider waves that one away. Looking for a third penalty tonight, or OKC Energy FC.
That's not gonna happen. They already regretted their decision to allow Shawn Brown to step up and hit their second one. Unfortunately, poor strike there.
Here's Gebhard, the substitute for Salgado, who's been busy tonight. Across, will go out of play right across the top of the 6. And we will get a substitution for OKC Energy. It'll be Christian Isley coming on, and it will be Cordell Cato coming off. That is the Freaky Fast substitution, sponsored by Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's is proud to support the OKC Energy Football Club. Order a Freaky Fresh sandwich today at jimmyjohns.com or on their app.
The manager appreciative of the efforts from Cordell Cato, especially in the second half. Felt like he really struggled to get involved in the run of play. And we did see a lot out of Shawn Brown and Omar Gordon. Second half, though, a lot more movement out of not only Cordell Cato, number 17, but Jonathan Brown and the front 4 in general. Much better relationship and their movements. You can see the fluidity started to really prosper in the final third, though still looking for that breakthrough go-ahead goal.
Here's Williams now. Isley on the ball. A goal and assist this season out of Orlando, Florida. He's played overseas in Sweden and Finland. Last club was Sacramento Republic, and now he finds himself in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, we're going up that one. We're going up the one straight across.
3.5 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. We are level at 1. Here's Salgado. Kiesewetter is up there at the top of the formation. I feel like we haven't called his name in quite a while. But when he has been on the ball tonight, he has been dangerous. As it's played back to Ketterer. El Paso doing what they do best. Taking time on the ball. Here's Chapa. Back for Ntoko. Richie Ryan now. Looking for Jerome Kiesewetter. Kiesewetter keeps it in play. Looking for Salgado, who's tripped up. Salgado's not happy about it. And we'll get a set piece here on this near side for El Paso Locomotive, a chance to put one into the box.
Real dangerous opportunity coming down the stretch, and just a good job going forward. There is a little clip. Alvin Jones trying to make friends in the closing of this game. Salgado frustrated to say the least. Can't let that overtake him, though. Really good chance here. With about 2+ minutes to go, barring the added time that will most assuredly been put on.
It'll be Kiffey standing over this one. Towards the back post, headed away. And El Paso will regain possession. Fox. It's won back by Williams and Energy FC. Gebhard wins it back now for El Paso. Here's Salgado. Salgado cutting inside on his right foot. And it's cut out. Now it's wide for Gebhard again. Jerome Kiesewetter. Back inside for Kiesewetter, just a little bit too far. He goes down in the box. That's a legit shout for a penalty. Maybe Thomas Schneider thinks down he went down a little bit too easy.
You're going to get a much better look from a close angle. Rafa Garcia coming across, slows down and pushes up. It's not a bad shout, is it? I mean, it's right on the back shoulder. And as a referee, Here's my question to him. If you don't believe it's a penalty, you're then saying it's simulation. You're saying that he has put himself to the ground on the arm. So you either step in and blow a foul and point to the spot, or you tell Jerome that he has 100% dove in this situation and you give him a card. When you do nothing, it doesn't set a precedent, and that's why everybody's emotions run higher.
And it will be 3 minutes of stoppage time. It's kind of like a block or a charge in basketball. Either it's one or the other, or it's nothing, and you really don't think it's ever nothing. Right back into the middle for Williams. Is there something else in this for Energy FC? Here's Omar Gordon. Gordon slips it inside all the way to Ketterer, who will fall on it. Just about 2 minutes left. A giveaway at the back, but Gordon could not collect that cleanly. Williams will let this go out of play. And it looks like we'll have one more substitution. And it will be the new man wearing El Paso blue. It is Moses McKinday making his El Paso Locomotive debut. Omar Salgado will make way. An eventful night for Omar Salgado. He gets a bit of a Bronx cheer on the way out.
A bit of French being employed by Omar Salgado, not happy with all the wax being taken. He did put in a nice shift, though. That guy covered a lot of ground, gave his team an opportunity to go get points on the road. They haven't been able to secure 3 yet, though. Still some precious time that may allow them to do so.
We saw a very late goal last week by OKC Energy at Las Vegas. We've seen Shawn Brown score 3 game winners this season. Here's McKinday. Said he made the drive from Tulsa this week, stopped in Midland, and then continued on. He's right back in Oklahoma. McKinday is wide. Gebhardt slips it inside for him just a little bit too far, and this will run out of play. So as things stand right now, is OKC Energy down to 8th place, and it's El Paso up to 4th. Just a few moments left, and there will be a set piece here on this near side. Chance to maybe put one last ball into the box for Rafa Garcia.
We'll see exactly how many guys they're going to let get up into the mixer with all of that height. See if they can utilize it fully to their advantage when Garcia puts this in.
Here it comes. Ketterer's off his line. It's bounced around in the box. It's cleared away. We're through the minimum of 3. Maybe one last push for El Paso. Gebhardt. And it's all the way through to Lorendi. There's the final whistle. Nothing to split the two sides tonight in Oklahoma City. It finishes El Paso Locomotive 1, OKC Energy FC 1. A penalty kick and an own goal. It was an eventful 90-plus minutes, but in the end, just a point apiece.
Some extracurriculars going on with Rafa Garcia and Omar Salgado down the stretch here, and not a good look for the visitors or the home squad to really get involved. But regardless, 2 high-intensity shifts put in by Energy FC and El Paso Locomotive. Got to give credit to the 2 goalkeepers, Logan Ketterer from El Paso Locomotive, and that man right there, Cody Lorendi. 2 beautiful displays from both goalkeepers.
So Cody Lorendi is your Mass Mutual man of the match tonight. Boy, did he come up big. A bunch of saves. He came in leading USL Championship in saves, and he's just adding to his totals tonight.
These 2 were about 10 minutes to go in the first half. First one was right there in front of us, Sebastian Contreras, and second one, Omar Salgado, and then the follow-up on the backside. Trailing run by Nick Ross. Lovely play by Cody Lorendi, a guy who has really proven his value to this organization over the past few years. Well-deserved man of the match.
And really, it was both goalkeepers Maybe the second man of the match could be Logan Ketterer. But that does it here from Oklahoma City. We're going to wrap things up. We'll be right back to show you the final highlights here from Taft Stadium.
Goals are something we outline for ourselves, and oftentimes they can be pretty lofty. When things begin to line up the way we think they should, we appreciate those who helped us along the way, like the help you get with commercial banking from FFB. Our experts are ready to partner with you to help you manage cash flow, oversee accounts through online banking, and help you secure a business line of credit. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB. We go where you go.
Mercy helps the energy get to the top of their game. We can help you get to the top of yours.
Fireworks as we are here on July 6th, just 2 days after July 4th. And fireworks to celebrate this 1-1 draw at Taft Stadium.
You do that math on your own?
I did, actually. And we are here to wrap things up, all presented by Dental Depot. And now we get to the final match highlights from this one, presented by Mercy. A goal apiece, and they were actually both scored by the same side, that being Oklahoma City. Here was the penalty early on.
It's a awkward shout here from Drew Becky. There is the trailing arm. We mentioned that pulls him down right in front of the referee, so he had his decision made up the entire way. Would it be Rafa Garcia again? Yes, it would. Would it hit the back of the net again? Yes, it would. Fourth time this year. He gets pay dirt, puts the home squad out in front. Ketterer had an argument about it. Unfortunately, just the fingertips were able to get to it. They jump out in front. Energy FC took a little while to get going, but they finally did. How about El Paso Locomotive? What would their response be? Kiesewetter, not his best shift. They could not get the ball into the German on a regular basis. This was one of his lone opportunities. Good ball in. First one thwarted off. Second one saved by the woodwork. There was a trailing run by Atiba Harris and Williams, so that would prove nothing. And then, second penalty. Right up over the back. Really, really frustrating stuff. As there's a shout here. Doesn't necessarily agree from James Kiffey, though it is a correct decision. They changed hands earlier on this season, going from Shawn Brown to Rafa Garcia. They go back. Great save by Ketterer. Poor penalty, but the goalkeeper still has to step up and do a lot of dirty work. And then what would it be for the visitors? Would their heads go down? Would they shy away from the challenge? That would not be the case. It would come from number 20, Chapa. Herrera coming out of the midfield. Great run to dissect the back line. There is a little push-off off the back. The referee lets them play. It's a deflection. They're going to call it an own goal. I'm giving it to Chapa.
There's physicality both ways tonight as we take a look at the final match stats presented by First Fidelity Bank. Once again, the possession well in favor of El Paso Locomotive. The shot's pretty even. It was pretty even all the way around. Both teams had opportunities to find that winner, but in the end, it finishes 1-1.
If you removed the players themselves, you just took out the styles, this is how it was going to play out. You always knew there was going to be a lot more passes put on the ground. 558 for El Paso Locomotive, almost half for Energy FC. But they did a good job sticking to what they were good at. Unfortunately, neither team could close it off in the final third, and it probably is deservedly so a draw.
So there is the man of the match, Cody Lorendi. The fireworks at Taft Stadium, wrapping up this Week 18 in USL Championship and this July 4th week across America. Plenty of soccer coming your way in the next few days. So that's going to do it from Taft Stadium in Oklahoma City. It finishes Oklahoma City Energy 1, El Paso Locomotive 1. For our entire crew and Devin Kerr, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long and thank you for watching here on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.